Welcome to Hemp Sisters Nation, where you don't need a reservation. I said, Mama, hello, stand with open arms. Here to warn you with the one more time. Yeah, one more time, baby. Welcome to the nation. I said, welcome.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Hempy Hour. I am one of your hosts, Gina Mama Epps, with my very favorite person.
You're my favorite person on the planet, universe, and most likely in this lifetime and others. Yes. Lolo.
Here she is.
Hi.
Together, we are your favorite Hemp Sisters over at the Hemp Sisters Nation. And you know what? Last week we had a lot of fun. And I mean a lot of fun.
Oh my God, we had so much fun.
And we were nervous that we almost had too much fun. And like, how receptive would everyone be to all our fun? And you know what? It was pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
It was pretty fantastic. So much so that I had like a childhood friend reach out who watched our entire episode and thanked us for being honest and talking about things that not everybody is ready to talk about.
Right.
I think that's important.
Like, we have positions, and whether they're right or wrong or how people are going to interpret it, the conversations should be happening. That's basically it. Gina mentioned our last episode, like, it's not a cancel thing. Like, you know, you have an opinion, and unless you're outrageous and disrespectful and intentionally wanting to dehumanize another human being or hurt another person, it's okay to talk about things that you don't agree with, or you don't understand, or you're trying to understand, or you're trying to instill.
Not only is it okay, it's important. Like, it's crucial to coming together and everybody getting along. Like, the powers that be are working harder than ever to divide us, and we're feeding right into it.
Yeah.
We're dividing ourselves
in so many ways.
Oh my gosh. What black, white, tall, short, mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine. Like, it's ridiculous. We're all human. We're all on this planet together. We're all one. Why act like it? Like, we all need to start acting like it.
And we have to stop trying to redefine what democracy actually is to fit a course of action that we want to take.
Right.
You know, we keep saying, like, you know, because democracy is that. It's everybody's voice and their allowance to utilize it, right? The governing body for our society. When we start to stop people from little instrumental parts of that, you know, it is a change of the narrative. It changes our timeline, our story, where we end up going. It's better to have the conversation and debate something out logically, regardless of what that outcome is going to be. It's better to take that course, to stand and have that through the process. Otherwise, we're just kind of going back to like when we're 2 or 3 years old and our parents had defining authority over us. And it was, there wasn't truly no democracy, you know,
right. You weren't allowed to have feelings or opinions.
Right. Good thing in a way where it kind of helps you to understand the order of authority and the hierarchy of authority in society. But there was a point to be remembered when you left your home and you rebelled against all of that, or you changed and you started to live your own, and you're under your own guise like that. Right. So that's kind of where we're all at. We're all living like that. And, you know, we need to communicate better to each other because we're all walking around trying to live.
Right. I had the balls to put up a post on LinkedIn. And again, LinkedIn, we talk about it all the time. So taboo, like, oh my God, you said, God forbid you said something on LinkedIn, right. Like, you know, the business world is coming crashing down upon you. Like, it's ridiculous. And all I did was put up a poll that asked if anybody was going to be part of the worldwide walkout, November 3rd. Yeah. Huge movement. It doesn't matter if you're right or you're left or you're in the middle or where the fuck you stand on anything. If you give a shit about the very little freedom and the amount of rights that we have left, this is a worldwide event that's starting with or without you this week. You know what I mean? So I put up a poll. Now, my last poll got 80,000 views. This one has gotten 3,000 because we'll get shadow banned for even have the balls to say anything. But you know what? It sparked some conversation. So the handful of people that saw it, and you know, there's a lot of freedom and yeah, let's fucking go and let's do this. And then there was like oh my God, how dare you have the nerve to question authority and not just put on your mask and get injected and not give a shit and stay in your home. And
the most interesting thing, because I didn't know you were putting that up. And when
we didn't talk about it at all. That was the best part.
So I love seeing these things, because the most interesting part of the commentary that was happening there was, Gina, you didn't put like, you know, let's stand up against vaccine. You were not specific in like what that meant.
Will you fight for your rights?
Will you fight for your rights? Regardless, is that your right to speak? What, you weren't specific.
All of any of that.
And right. You just see what is sitting on the heads of people in their responses. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and how passionate it was, like what they're actually afraid of, what they're actually ready to like pull trigger and shoot out a commentary about. And it was very, not everybody was the same. Right. Some people talked, like went out and said something about vaccines, you know, some people talked about masks, some people talked like, whatever, you know what I mean? But it was very interesting to see like what's at the heart of the heart, and what, when they read your words, what issue triggered.
Yes. Well, that's perfect word. Trigger. And that was not my intent at all. Like, right. We have how many millions of people that have died, men and women that have died to try and give us a shred of what we were taught we deserve, and that we have a birthright to, and that's freedom. That's living your life. Yeah. Under your own will, your own free will, and putting in your body what you want in your body. And guys, that's not happening anymore.
Everybody that was commenting, you know, yes, I'll fight for the rights that we've earned and people have fought for, etc. It's an umbrella. It doesn't, you know what I mean? It's an umbrella conversation. You see that so much more when people talk about like, no, just freedoms in general. Right. People that are, you know, arguing against, you know, people having rights for certain things and then redefining what rights actually are. And again, let's have that debate, but where are the lines drawn? I could make a conversation out of anything, you know, and
become so virtuous to make sure they make sure they let me know how disgusting and selfish of a human being I am.
Right. For not even specifying the subject matter of what.
For having the gall to ask a question. You know what I mean? Because questions, you're a fucking terrorist if you ask a question these days. So there's interesting. The response. So like, here's me just trying to put up a post, see if there's people that even know this exists, because it's hidden. Right. You know what I mean? Most people wouldn't even know this is happening next week. But, you know, if you're subscribed to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. or Del Bigtree or, you know, Larry Cook or any of the handful of people that are really fighting.
Vocally trying to keep the conversation.
Just conversation.
Keep the conversation from being tainted one direction or the other. You know what I mean? I don't think we want to see like everything like the way that we see it when we search out things like for, you know, no vaccine mandates.
Well, people
are real both things.
Yeah, people are real quick to taint freedom of speech. Right. Like, oh, you don't deserve freedom of speech because then you could have hate speech, or you could have this speech, or I can tell you you're an asshole or you're a pussy or whatever I get the urge to tell you. Sure, I can. I'm not going to, but I can. And you have that same right to not engage with that disgusting negative behavior, block me and never see that again. Right. So yes, I wholeheartedly 100% believe in that freedom of speech.
And we even have societal checks and balance for when 20 or 50 or 2 million people that are talking like that actually, you know, organize and become some type of an actual threat against another human being.
Right.
These are conversations. And whether they lead to, you know, groups uniting and movements, you know, again, what is the intent? What is the intention and who is being hurt? You know, sticks and stones and break my bones, right? These are the things that we grew up with.
Gen X was brought up.
You know, whatever. I mean, it's, again, how far you want to take it. You know what I mean? Like, you can ignore it, you can confront it, you can walk away from it, and you can do a million things with it.
Right.
What I think the wrong thing to do is to try to stop it.
Right.
Because, you know, when people engage with people like that, you know, it just gives more fuel to them. If you got the balls to have that kind of a nerve and say some things like that, whatever people say to you isn't going to affect you. You're going to keep doing you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's you're not doing anything by the engaging in the overreach and the parenting of it. You're just not. You know,
no,
you're only feeling it. People go away when they don't have anybody to connect with.
Right.
You know, when they're standing alone for 10 years with nobody supporting them, like their voice is really not that memorable, important, you know?
Right.
And unfortunately, we give a little too much power to it. Mandates. Yeah.
Oh, mandates.
Well, you put up a post today about Ice Cube, right?
I did. Another post that's going to get me into some shit on LinkedIn. So I was like, so money doesn't buy everything. Not everybody is for sale. Ice Cube, again, he's probably on the left, I would imagine, at least liberal, but probably Democratic. But you know what I mean? Right. They offered him $9 million to make a movie with a mandated vaccine ordinance. And he told him to fuck off because there's no way he was getting vaccinated because someone told him to.
Right.
And I'm proud of him. Like that makes me feel good as an American, as a human, as a person, that not everybody is for sale. And again, I know there's this debate of the average person who's being threatened about losing their job and they can't take care of their family and the single moms and this and that. And there's a million avenues to this and a million different ways of viewing this, and everybody's in a different boat. I get that. But when you have celebrities, people in the eye view, people with millions of followers online, people that have influence, when the average everyday person sees them, people that live for money, turn down money, it says something. And it's unfortunate that it takes someone like Ice Cube to be like, no, you can't buy me. But that's going to affect people. Nicki Minaj comes out and makes a comment. The whole fucking world loses their mind. She didn't tell anyone not to get vaccinated. She said, do your research, do what's best for you, say a prayer. See, you know what I mean? That was her advice. Figure it out and wear a mask. People wanted to fucking hang her or burn her at the stake. Yeah. For what? Bringing up a conversation that, you can't possibly open your mind to the other end of this because you're so snowed and your viewpoint is so skewed that there's no way there's another end to this.
Right.
I mean, I don't care what side you're on. There's always more information. That's always
the biggest bite in the ass. Like I've always really played devil's advocate when it came to that
for sure
stuff. Like and trust me, I have. And being so involved, people that are just so don't ever vaccinate. What I mean? We're tied at the hip. You know what I mean? I have a very not different.
You do.
It is different view of it.
Definitely.
And how I view vaccines and what their use is and what their use should be.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I completely and wholeheartedly just stand with the whole, like, do what you want.
Right.
And you stand there too.
100%.
I see, if you look historically of where we would present this and how this was, how we started to inoculate, our society towards, things at the time that we had no control over and there was no other way. And I mean, all these other things, there's a path for that. And I have a general understanding and appreciation for the science and the idea of if we could teach the body to be better receptive and better, whatever on one leg of using medicine, then we should do that if we can do that, like helping people with cancer, whatever it might be. But doing so, you have to also understand that I also have a really firm leg in like nature,
I was going to say that's the other end.
Understanding it.
So maybe your body doesn't want to be taught how to take in synthetics and chemicals and toxins.
Have not spent,
because we're not supposed to.
Well, we have not spent enough time on the individual level to understand that, Lois, your type, your body, your life, your insides,
your DNA makeup, your
DNA makeup, is susceptible in ways that other people aren't. Right. And this is, I'm saying this is where we talk about individualized medicine and we understand that. We rely on vaccines, we rely on every pharmaceutical thing that we have based on the consensus of a group of people. Sometimes we catch and see what bodies of these people that have certain conditions, things that shouldn't play around with these things or shouldn't use these things. But in the end, we always find ourselves in a risk versus reward thing, which is why the devil's advocate thing is that is one thing. And it's always in my head, knowing that the risk versus reward is equal on both sides. Whether I do things with nature or whether I do things with medicine, I'm still having a risk versus reward scenario. Natural medicine, sometimes take a risk that things might not work. There's nothing to prove it, and that's kind of a leap of faith, and it's a methodology and it's a lifestyle. And then on the other side, there's things that, you've got Hail Mary passes over here and on both sides. So again, that's kind of where I've always stood but at the end of all of that argument is a person making their own decision.
An informed decision, preferably informed, what you're doing, how potentially how it could affect your body, the risks that are involved in potentially taking this medicine or injection or whatever it may be. If you don't have a list of ingredients, if you don't have informed consent, and if you don't know what could or couldn't happen, how do you make an informed choice? And that's where I'll get messed up. Like, how do I make an informed decision? I live for informed decisions. My brain only works on reality. Like that's how I'm wired. If it doesn't make sense, it's not happening, period. And I'll question it till I blow your fucking brain out of your head. I'll drive you insane. Because there's no way. Like there's no way. Yeah, it is. 100%.
But it's necessary. It's a mindset, that personality type that we have to have in society. Otherwise, just flip on the on button in the morning, robots, and go to work and do your thing and wait for somebody to give you your instructions. Some people can live like that though too. There's 100%. Personalities that actually need that. That is the structure. That is the foundation. And I don't even want to knock them. That's how they're fucking built. You know what I mean? Like that's their wiring. Just like how your wiring is your wiring,
Right, right. I had that other post on TikTok taken down. I had a community standards violation. Another post like blew up overnight. We didn't even know what was happening. We're fucking sleeping. Wake up, 27,000 views and community guidelines taken down. Bam, like that fast, like in 12 hours. Yeah. And, you re-go through that and nothing's in there that's crazy. There's no hate speech. There's nothing hurtful. There's nothing, all this umbrella blanket statement of community guidelines, when all that really means is if we don't want you getting some shit out there, it's not getting out there, period. Yeah. So then again, we're at the point where it's hard to make informed decisions. So then one of the comments, I was able to see the comments before it was taken down, was like, what's it like to live in a constant state of fear? Like talking to me, and I'm like, I'm afraid. Right. Like that's not fear. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that's a misconception. Like, you're not afraid that they're poisoning our water, poisoning our food, poisoning our air. You're trying to be on the defense. You want to be aware. You want to know what's happening, how you can combat that, what you can do to detox your own body, because you can't fight it all. You're fucking alive. You're breathing. You can't fight everything they're throwing at us. But for you to sit there and feel like you need to put me down for maybe doing too much, that you think I'm doing too much by not blindly believing everything I fucking hear and see, and not eating everything that's boxed and canned. You know what I mean? But I feel the same way about you. Like take 5 minutes and read those labels, look into that ingredient, see what high fructose corn syrup is going to do to you and your baby. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm the asshole for that.
You're what people don't want to deal with.
Yeah, 100%.
So we are constantly projecting our fears and our views on people without even really knowing we're doing it. That person says, like, what does it feel like to be in fear all day? Because that person lives in fear all day in a different way, not on that particular subject, but they've analyzed you as a person that's got too much going on, and that's their reaction in life. They got too much going on, they're fearing everything.
I mean, I didn't stop eating today because Alex Jones came out and said they're going to spray nanotechnology on our food. I 100% believe that's going to fucking happen. Or if it's not already happening.
What are they spraying?
The graphene. Because not enough people are taking the vaccine. They don't have as many people as they want, and they're going to find ways to get this in our fucking body. I believe that. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist. Maybe we should bring our tinfoil hat next week. I don't know. Sure. But you bet your ass I'm going to be aware of it. And, no more shopping at Walmart. Like, you know what I mean? There's things you can do.
I'm glad you're coming on the don't shop at Walmart train. I've been trying for so long. Very rarely.
Well, it has nothing to do with what I want or how I feel. Like, Walmart is dirt fucking cheap and Pick and Save isn't, period. That's the difference. That's it. And they know that. And they use that against the average everyday fucking person.
You're right.
You can buy bread for $1 or you can buy bread for $3.99 down the street. You're buying it for a fucking $1. And then they got you. Like, they fucking got you. It's tough. It's fucking tough.
I use them for electronics for sure, because it's just quick and easy, or Amazon. But one thing I know about Walmart was when we signed up, going through processes to be a vendor for Walmart, the commitment to that low pricing it's really interesting when you want to go and apply to sell something in the Walmart marketplace, how low in value you have to bring your business to be able to do it. You know what I mean? So we actually never ended up doing it. Right. But I mean, again, just to see how desperate people could be to get something and get their brand out there, and just the value of it just not relevant, because Walmart can do it better, and they will. They'll go to every corner of the earth to get that kid to put that in a jar for them.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Really fucked up. Oh, big shit.
Well, speaking of kids, I mean, we ended last week. You said that you want to delve into kids more, and I think it's crucial. I mean, in 10 different ways, whether it's homeschool or now the FDA okayed vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds. The fuck are you talking? What kind of studies have been done on 5 to 11-year-olds who aren't even getting sick on whether this is safe for them or not?
I've really stopped following a lot of studies because there's questions that they're not doing the right kind of studies.
It's like a fucking joke where they grab 1,000 kids and do something with them and say it's 99% effective. Like what? It's enough.
I guess that point.
Any study's going to prove anything.
What was the study that said it was an absolute necessity to start vaccinating children at 5 years old?
The fake hospital numbers.
Where is that?
I mean, you saw that fake hospital numbers. We went from like 1 million people, 1 million kids hospitalized. The real number was like 50,000. When the actual data came out, and they were like, "Oh, our bad. We're sorry." Then an apology comes out, but it's far fucking too late. How many people saw the apology? How many millions of people are lining up their kids to get vaccinated?
How many people are relying, you guys? How many people are just, we want to believe in our people that are our leadership. Like we have a desperate want to do that. You want to be able to have trust in things. You want to be able to like focus on things that matter to you, like your home life, and go about your life and just realize it's, as a collective, we're caring about intention, and our government's doing the right thing at the most time. Like this is madness. It's like literal madness.
Out of their own mouths, Biden and Harris, out of their own fucking mouths, will never mandate it. We can't even legally mandate anything. Of course, there will be no mandates, no mask mandates, no vaccine mandates. That's crazy.
I don't think they realize how many people were not going to participate in this pony show.
100%.
You know what I mean?
The reality check is stifling. Now they don't know what the fuck to do. You heard Biden. Like, all right, we've had enough. Now you're in big trouble.
Yeah. I mean, no, you're in big trouble.
Out of here. I never listened as a kid. You think I'm starting now? I'm 48. Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, I know our kids are not going back to school, Do you
have that TikTok you sent me?
I do.
There's a homeschool TikTok that literally sums it up. So if you're on the fence about homeschooling, shoot us a message.
Let me turn this up a little bit just in case. I'm not sure how the share screen works, but we'll do it this way.
Yeah, this one was awesome.
All right, let's see. Where's your face, girl? Come on.
I'm sorry, I just hallucinated. What?
Do one more in case it gets over. Homeschool day can be done in a couple of hours, and your kids can do a lot of their work on their own if they want.
I'm sorry, I just hallucinated.
Yes.
What?
And our children are 8, and we can confirm that as the God's honest truth.
It's really true.
Could have confirmed that last year and probably the year before.
It really was. I was petrified to homeschool Elliot. I was petrified. I had just homeschooled her before. She was homeschooled out through kindergarten, and she went to first grade, and then she was pulled out at the end of first grade, right?
Right.
So, hello. But I was petrified because, just from what you see, what you think school is.
Right.
That's the thing. What you think school is.
What you've made school in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you go back, going through school, I don't remember it was so hard. Like none of that. Like I just think, oh my God, to put the curriculum together, to do all these things on your own. And
regimented, real it scheduled.
Really scared me. I'm just not that kind of person for one, but but also just like the curriculum and organizing it. And I want to, I don't want to fail her, but then to go through that process. And Gina can vouch for me. I was so in the teacher's business. So I just want to make sure, overdoing it, all these things. And Gina's like, why?
Stop reaching out to the teacher.
Stop reaching out. Why?
You're killing the other parents.
Yeah, I being way too much focus on this. But I was really afraid because I knew that she was still going to be getting tested.
Right. She
was still going to, have to turn in things. And I, at the end, looked at it more like I was being judged.
Well, for sure. They were doing state testing via Zoom. What the fuck is happening? You don't even know these kids. You barely know their name if you're not looking at a piece of paper. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, it was really intense. And then to get that end of the year scores and stuff,
What a joke. What a fucking joke.
And looking at what was most striking is because there was kids that we did the no Zoom thing with the kids.
Right. So
it was all us. We had the rest of looking at the comparison, in the STAR math and reading testing of what the average was for the kids that were actually doing the Zoom school.
Right.
Our kids totally Jack's more than Eliana, percentage wise, but they killed it above their above and beyond.
There's not a doubt in my mind right now, end of October, 3rd grade, that they're not fucking ready for 4th grade with just what we've done these last couple
I mean,
months.
no. I mean,
there's not a doubt.
The division's already started. Like
division, fractions, decimals, you name it. Like there's no fucking way school's doing that yet.
No, and they are liking it.
They're loving it. They're thriving. They can't get there. They couldn't be any more
excited. I could not get my kid interested in this other shit they were doing last year. Way. She was just not, she fought me in everything.
How much did Jax hate art?
No, he did.
Art. This kid, all he wants to do every day now is draw and color and paint. But you had some teacher that wants you to do things your own, whatever she wants in her way. And I got my stubborn ass kid. Like, I'm not doing that shit.
I'm not interested in drawing that.
I don't want to do that. That's boring. I don't like it. Let's find something that I like, and then I'll draw my ass off. And that's not school.
No, it's just been great to like just do what we would do as parents and cross it over into something a little more structured for like a learning experience. But in a different, again, it's not even like that kind of way.
No. And then
I have some things that she has a writing book, so we're practicing cursive still, and we're doing all this. Yeah,
everything else is
the
online.
Fundamentals, the reading, but the other stuff, it's just so exploratory and so self-active and interactive.
They love it. And then they get pets and rewards and certificates, and they love that. It makes them feel so good. And
no,
it's awesome.
It is. And as far as socialization, at that thing that we were playing, they had, they were showing like, in the comments, like, people that were really interested, like, what about the socialization? What about the socialization?
Right.
And she was really smart. She came back and she's like, what do you consider socialization? Like, let's just start back and take it back. What do you think that is?
Right.
And what is that supposed to be? And, and I had commented like, I got the most effective and beneficial socialization through my family interactions.
Right.
I don't have one person that I went to school with that I'm friends with, like in an interactive way. That didn't teach me shit like that.
Right.
I mean, if anything, it kind of taught me the negative things of relationships because of the in-school environment. What are you wearing?
Kids are bullies.
They're mean. Like you're kind of become a product of a defense that you built in these things. Our kids don't have that. Nope. They walk up to people. My mom said to me yesterday, we kind of got an argument about it. I'm like, well, don't stop her from talking to people, but like, just be there when she's talking to people.
Right.
Because they're so outgoing, like, oh, this is this. And she's like, oh, hi, Emily, I'm going to my dad's for the weekend. Like, whatever. I mean, a lot of information, but again, this just shows how safe and like comfortable and their optimism on life, that is what it's supposed to be, right?
Right. And we live in a community here. There's kids everywhere. They're playing with kids every day outside. Jax is at the YMCA at a gym and swim for homeschool kids. Once a week, they're in the gym for an hour. They're in the pool for an hour. There's 20 other kids there. Like, This is not just us. It's not like, Lois and I hang out with our kids for the last few years. Like, there are so many people involved and so many activities and parents organizing, because that's just the Y. That's one example. That's once a week.
Right.
But we've all exchanged phone numbers. We're all meeting outside the Y. There's other activities. There's sports. There's nature walks. We're going down to the lake, and there's a million things to do, guys.
It's
if you put in your head that it's negative, it's negative.
Yeah. I mean, we grew up with, because homeschooling wasn't really a popular thing.
Oh, it didn't exist.
It was like it was for you were the creepy fucking kid that whose parents were like way religious or whatever it is. But it's just not that. It's just not that. And the one more fact I want to say, as far as like kids going into college and stuff, I'm not a college student. Gina has been.
Lucky.
But like, again, like homeschool, like these particular studies will tell you that if you have a child that's homeschooled, by the time they are ready for college, they have higher enrollment rates and they have higher graduation rates than 100%. Their public or private schooled peers. And I think that has a lot to say with it, is because by the time they get to that stage, that's when they're ready for that kind of experience.
Right.
To be integrated with peers and have this whole other set of unique skills to bring to the table,
And if you're someone that's involved in things outside school, sports, art, music, martial arts, whatever it may be, that stuff still all exists. Just because you're in homeschool doesn't mean you're not allowed to participate in those things. You 100% are.
No, for sure. No, I've never been happier. My child's never been happier. Never been happier.
Jax liked school because he got to fuck off with a bunch of kids. That was it. That was literally it. It was recess. It was lunch. Those are the stories I heard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A man on a mountain at recess. That doesn't exist anymore. There's no mountains when you're 6 feet apart in masks. You know what I mean? All that's gone. So the socialization that we grew up with in school, which was, again, half assholes, doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, Eliana's first year of school, you remember, she had, and my daughter's sweet, you know, they're both of our kids, they're sweet and loving, they're complete shenanigans where, you know, I mean, they're regular kids, but like certain traits are starting to develop. Like she would, because she's always so nice, might get loving, caring, you know, understanding. Remember, she came home and it was like she had made the note,
right?
You know what I mean, about a kid, and then it was like passing it around. Like this was in second grade.
No, right. So
first grade. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Something like, because somebody had said something, and that's how she was like, her senses were like, no, I had to be part of that group,
right?
Instead of like, no, that's not right. That's bullying. Like, you know, like, and that was something that come from an environment that was like her first experience with it,
right?
So tragedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like I
feel
like
very similar with Jax. Very similar. Also,
right.
You know, just nasty experiences with other kids, like some nasty kids, some bullying kids. Right. You know, he cried more than once. Like that's what they're missing. That's what our kids are missing out on. No chance.
It's so much easier, you know, and it is hard. It's, you know, when you have to work, you know, but like that thing was just saying on TikTok, it's true. We send our kids off to school for 8 hours a day.
Oh, what the fuck they're doing.
This is again, like another thing, like, you know, school is supposed to be an extension of what you're teaching at home because they have so much time with your children. Homeschooling, you know, we're lucky if it hits a 4-hour mark on any given day.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, that's like if you really went to a full schedule, there's certain subjects that we have to do, you know, to keep them compliant, I guess, with like being homeschooled. But we don't have the distractions that you'd have as a teacher in a classroom. They get through the lessons.
There's not 30 other kids, right?
Get through the lessons, they understand the lessons, and then we go on with our lives, you know?
Yeah.
If you can do it.
I mean, they're cooking, they're cleaning, they're doing laundry, they're baking, things that would never in a million years happen in school anymore.
Yeah.
That barely happened when we went to school and, you know, we're in our 40s. Like everything that you actually needed in real life is gone. Yeah. You know, Jax helps me pay the bills. We go through bills together so we can learn that. You know, we go through his savings account and his checking to, you know, we just talking about it, just how it's saving and what that means. And I would have killed for that information. Like I'd be a completely different person 40 years ago if we would have known this.
I think I had one class sophomore year about balancing a checkbook. Like,
and I never got that. You know, like, come on. Like school is you are there so they get money and you pass the test so they get more money, and then you wear a mask so they get more money, and then you push vaccines so they get more money. And if you don't fucking believe me, I taught for 15 years outside of Chicago. You're seeing all the viral videos now. Everything I warned Lo about is happening in front of our very fucking eyes. Everything I told you that I would go as far as to say you didn't believe some of the shit I told you.
Oh, no.
100%.
It seems so
dramatic. It doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real.
It's like you're in a very specific headspace. You are a good citizen for the most, whatever. I mean, you're in this thing. You just can't. I am consistently still to this day not able to wrap my mind around some things I read or learn or explore. Like I physically, mentally can't even comprehend how they are in existence, how they work, how the machine turns. Like it's so devious and manipulative.
And I lived it so that there was no denying it.
I don't got those kind of,
right.
You know, in that way, like it's
too much. It's hard to even wrap your mind around.
Because worse than that is because it's so extreme. Like you don't even know where to start to dismantle it. Right. And that's where we're at. Like we're like in a rinse cycle right now, society wise. We're in a rinse cycle. Like who was, you know, who did the assignment? Who understood the assignment and who didn't?
I understood the assignment.
And where do they go? The people that are like, you know, they send the hounds of each other. You know, for you to tell me I'm fucking this or that or the other.
I mean, the stories I would tell you back in the day, like this shit's, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to fucking believe this. Like, no, you learn nothing, nothing. And it doesn't matter if you can read or write, you're moving the fuck on because there's no child left behind. And doesn't that sound nice? No child left behind. Sounds like you give a fuck. There are 0 fucks given. It doesn't matter if you can read, if you can write, if you can see, if you can finish an addition or subtraction problem at 16, none of it matters. None of it matters. Were you in school? Was your ass in a chair? Did we get our money for the day? And are you there for the state testing? The end. The end. And if you don't believe that, take a day and go to a public school and watch your children. Take a day. Because you're not going to be allowed in because they don't want you to see that shit.
Unfortunately, you can't get
Have your kids record it and send it to you.
Right, we have some developments. Have them bring their phone, record it. We had pagers. That's about it.
Yeah, guys, it's crazy. I mean, we could talk for a week about this.
No, what's crazy just in general is that like what we want things to be and what they are two different things. And sometimes there's 7 different things. I don't know. I didn't go to school. I don't know the math. But anyway.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot. All right. So they're trying to make our kids stupid. And to force us to inject them with
I'm gonna share
a vaccine that doesn't have any studies, really. I mean, you can argue with me till your fucking face falls off. If you think 6 months worth of studies is studying, I mean, is there a vaccine that was ever approved before 10 years? I don't know, 7 years. Anyway. So with all the fuckery that is happening now, and VAERS, which maybe reports 10% of the bullshit, who knows? But the VAERS reports are up to almost 1 million side effects. You know, yeah, I don't even know where it went. But anyway, this week, FDA fast forwards the approval for 5 to 11-year-olds getting vaccinated. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s group, if you follow them at all, the Children's Health Defense are already have a lawsuit on the table ready to stop this immediately, because what the fuck are you talking about? And guys, it scares me because I know there was over 1,000 kids as part of this study. We'll use that term loosely because what the fuck is that? But 1,000 people gave up their children to this. That in itself is fucking terrifying. That's fucking terrifying to me. I'm glad we don't know the names of these people because it would be ugly. It would be ugly.
It's sad because these people that do this, they're sold on something that they were sold to as children.
Well, and they're virtuous and they're making their children virtuous. You're doing it for the greater good. You're doing this for everybody, baby, for everybody. As we're watching children fall out of the fucking chair and face plant, people from across the world, the videos are everywhere. They're everywhere. I'm in Telegram chats of the asshole because these videos you will not see anywhere because they're not on social media. They're not making it to Facebook. They're not making it to Instagram. They're not making it to LinkedIn. Nowhere. So the Telegram chats, and then you'll share them to TikTok and they'll get taken down real quick. But you're going to see 1 million people are going to see that shit quick. And they're going to know it is enough. I watched a baby get injected in fucking 9 years old and fall out of a chair on his fucking face and the camera went off. Come on. And someone else is going to come in and tell me, well, that's just the vaccine working and that's their body fighting it. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear as we're watching babies fall out of chairs on their fucking face for a maybe this will maybe. The kid probably never had COVID, probably would never have COVID, but we're going to inject some shit into him just in case. I've had enough. I don't care what the fuck you think about it. That's where I'm at. I'm sorry.
I know there's nothing really to follow up with that. It's, again, here, I'll give you an example. Animals in the FDA, you know what I mean? We have certain laws and things to do with kids and animals because they don't
take care of themselves.
They don't have the words. They can't tell you how they're feeling. We gotta look for, physical clues and things like that, right? So when you're making something that a kid's gonna eat medicine or a pet or an animal is going to take, it's a very different process. Right. I don't understand how we are here with this. How many countries have stopped this for adults? Stopped it. Yeah. Like, not only are they not mandating it, they're like, don't take that fucking shit. We got to figure out what's going on. I mean, people's hearts are stopping. My blood clots riddled through their bodies. My brain kind of goes in this particular pattern when it comes to the why of this. And it goes like this. We have a nation of people that aren't working or, not incentivized enough to go back to work. Right. Right. But if they do, right. So their jobs are making them get vaccines to get money. So they have to go to work. But now they've got kids that are at home that have to go to school. And they're trying to shut that thing down where they close the schools, the parents got to come home, all of that. So this is why I think we have this leg into the 5 to 12, right? We've got people that need to be at work. We've got school boards, like, how do we make it safe for the kids to be here? How do we keep mom at work, dad at work, whatever. It's literally just all of the fundamental pieces to be in a situation that you can't get yourself out of down the road. Right. So this, this is where this is. It's not sustainable to keep people not working because people, no matter what people tell you, people are paying for that. Right. You know what I mean? And it's not, everybody can't stay home with their kid. Even if you believe that this vaccine is what they say it is, that's fine. And you believe you should have it and you believe your children should have it. And you whatever you believe, your family, etc., your neighbor, at what point is a mandate, is someone forcing you to do something
not okay. And that's where I'm really having a hard time with all these people that are okay. Not only are they okay with mandates, they love them. They want more of them. They want people like you and me to fucking die. Like, you're so concerned about safety. You want people that are unvaccinated to die of COVID. What the fuck am I hearing?
Yeah. Like,
what am I hearing? That doesn't go together.
No. Yeah. Because again, at the end, it's still like, why can't both things happen? And it's because of this one little piece of information that's out there. And it's that whole, because you're not doing it, you put me at risk thing.
Right. And they're shoving
if
that
that wasn't here,
throat.
would we be having the conversation of like this?
Right.
You know what I mean? So who's giving you that tidbit of information? Who's making it something to argue about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even entertain in the sarcastic conversations about it because they're funny. You know, like the sunblock, like, sure, I'm going to get skin cancer because you're not wearing your sunblock, right. Whatever. Like,
my allergies are killing me. You won't take your Benadryl.
Right. So you could really go a lot of ways. A lot of it don't make any medical sense, obviously, but they're just more
like this doesn't make much medical sense. Go on.
But I mean, it's, you know, like, just to kind of like George Carlin your way out of the tragedy of all of this, you know. But I mean, again, like you know, you say that it's like we're not even arguing with you about you doing that. Take what you want. You know what I mean? You know.
Isn't that the George Carlin's joke? Like, what's the scariest thing you could ever hear? Like, we're the government. We're here to help you.
We're here to help you. You know, eat your pudding, you know, eat your meat, whatever. And let us not eat ours, I guess. You know, I mean, what is the harm? Again, it's that one piece of thing saying, well, you didn't vaccinate your kids, so you're putting me. I mean, it's just this whole trickle thing.
Crazy. Or the ones that are like, you should all be on an island by yourself. Yes, the fuck.
I would know. It's right.
Yes, the fuck we should.
I would love
Everyone unvaccinated and our children should all be on an island. Yes, I agree. And we should all cook our own food, and we should grow our food, and we should have our own animals, and we should fish together, and we should have a community garden.
We would literally throw the computer away in a heartbeat.
Oh my! I would never you'd never see me again.
Love you, Hemps's Nation, but you know what I mean.
Got to go.
Yeah, live long, prosper, you know.
No, guys, it's the point where it's quality of life. At what point is your quality of life more important than the bullshit? And I think a lot of people are at a crossroads. And it's easier for Lo and I to stay firm. We work from home, and you know, we have different paths than some people, but I've given up my path before. I taught for 15 years and gave it up like that. So I know you can do it. I know people can do it.
I had a career in hospitality. That was my lifeline.
Right.
I lost, you know, I walked out of that job. Again, I didn't have anything else. I didn't have a nest egg. I wasn't loaded.
Right.
You know, I had $3,000, you know, and I threw it in a, you know, us doing our own thing when I left. You know, goodbye husband, goodbye home, goodbye everything. And I'm still on that path. You know what I mean? I have to live. So I have other things I have to do. But I want to make decisions that, you know, align with, you know, the end game.
Right.
I'm not in a situation where I don't have enough fight in me to like, you know, I don't got to go work at McDonald's tomorrow and throw my daughter back into school. You know, if it became a reality for me, it'd be a reality for me. I'm not an idiot. I want her to suffer. I want her to be fed, you know, but while there's things to try and things to do, it's, you know, this is how you survive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And don't be afraid of the fighting part of it. Things are not easy. They're never easy.
No, don't be afraid to fight. And don't be afraid what other people are going to say. People are always going to be shitty. There's always going to be someone that has a negative opinion and a negative comment and tell you all about yourself.
Why do you care, right?
Doesn't matter. No, it really doesn't matter. We've all been there. It doesn't matter.
We're there. We're there now. All day long.
There. Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter. It's just, you have what's important. You know, is that going to stop you from taking care of yourself, from taking care of your family?
Right.
What is it going to do to you? You know? Don't let it.
No, I think we all have decisions. We all have big decisions, and we have to decide what's best for us and our loved ones and our families, and stick to our guns, you know, and mass non-compliance.
It's really not much of an ask, really.
No,
you know,
mass non-compliance.
Yeah, because we're not really all going to live forever.
No, it's that easy. And I know it's not easy for everybody. That's hard for some people. It comes naturally for me, and it comes naturally for Lo a lot of the times. You know, probably more so for me, but it comes very natural. Like,
no, right? Because I've seen, well, you know, real quick, just to again, devil's advocate. I've seen, you know, I've had real life causes of non-compliance, going against something, doing something bad against society. Like I know sometimes where that could bring you. I have experience on doing bad things for no good reason whatsoever. And, you know, and then there's things that like, rebel against that are for good, the greater good. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you're definitely more than I in that regard.
Well, I don't even know how to explain it. And a lot of it's just my personality. Like, because I taught for 15 years, and for all 15 years, I fought with people. I mean, fought. The administration meeting, like, you're not going to just tell me some bullshit and it's just going to fly because you told me some bullshit and it came out of your lips. So it's gospel.
Sometimes because you're the person that presented it like that, you'll fight very hard.
Oh, 100%. Oh, you're my boss. Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like 100%. But there's stuff that I firmly believe. And now you're talking to me about sports and athletics and health and lifestyle. And I live and breathe that shit. Bring it on. Yeah. Bring it on. Right. And then next thing, I don't have a teaching career anymore because I believed in that plan. But anyway, you stick to your guns. You believe something, you believe it.
What happened? You took a risk. This all happened. It's not like you just found another school to go work at and just reassemble.
Nope.
You said, okay, I'm going to keep hitting this. Right. And you turned that into a network of close to 100,000 people.
Right.
You involved yourself. You built a community and structure. You've changed. I've watched you physically change people's lives, save their kids, save their spouses, give them information, and they're still here today because of it.
100%.
Okay, so guess what? Somebody that wants to have $1 million in the bank might not think it's an achievement.
Right.
Good for you.
Right. But that same person with millions of dollars in the bank out of Southern California is going to call me when their skin cancer flares up.
Yeah.
But they're not going to want me to tell anyone who they are. So.
Right. Shh, you know who you are. And she'll help you.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So again,
anonymously.
So
guys, I think this is our every week. You stick to your guns. If you believe something and something fulfills your heart, that's what you do. You follow it at all costs. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. Reach out to us anytime. You have our support. We're here for you. If there's something you want to talk about, let us know. We'll talk next week. It could be your subject. Let us know. We're not afraid to talk about shit, as you can tell.
Not anymore, man.
No,
we had some reserve.
This year specifically, but specifically me, a good 6 months where I didn't know what the fuck to do. Yeah. I didn't know what the fuck to do because of this network on LinkedIn and how do I be myself and still be professional and still talk about what I want, but not lose what? Lose what? Let's just stop right there.
No, it's a Hail Mary pass for humanity, right? Who's going to do what? It's been a wonderful, I told you the other day, it's like a wonderful social experiment to see this play out. I mean, it's just
because you'll lose a handful, but you're gaining some like-minded fucking people.
Yeah, like
speed of light.
And this is that whole thing of just when you conform to a structure of something, and then there's that widget that the wrench ticket's thrown in, and you just see how freeing that is.
Yeah, and how do we say be unapologetically you for not doing it ourselves? What a bunch of hypocritical assholes.
Right. We're already assholes. We're going to do the hypocritical part.
We can't be both hypocritical and assholey.
Lovingly.
Anyway, so whether you are watching us,
have a safe, happy Halloween, by the way.
Yes, or listening to us. We appreciate you. It is Halloween for us. It's
Halloween today.
So, salud. We're wasting away again in Margaritaville for Halloween because hubby's taking the kids. Thanks, have a good day. Have a good Halloween.
Stay safe.
One love.
One love.
And if you don't have 400 milligrams of nerds in your life, where's
right there. Right on the side.
Damn it.
Yeah. It's a lime green.
It's like not. There it is. 400 milligrams.
400.
Get it in your face.
Welcome to the nation. I said, welcome